Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our lesson, the surface area of a triangular prism. A prism has two bases, and since it's a triangular prism, the triangle is its base. And so there are two triangles, the top for the two bases. And so surface area in general, by definition, is the total area of all the faces of a three-dimensional figure. And so we're trying to figure out the area of all sides. Now, if I look at this formula and I look at this triangular prism, I need to remember some things. This is a two-dimensional drawing that represents something that's three-dimensional. So if I think about this, I have a triangle on the front. That also means there's a triangle on the back side of this triangular prism. If there is a front, there is also a back that is hidden behind here that I don't see. So I need to remember that when looking at the formula and trying to figure out the surface area. There are two other sides and a bottom that I don't see. And so our formula for this is the area of A times H plus A times W plus B times W plus C times W. And we're going to unpack this in our next part here. But you might be wondering, well, there's a triangle here. Don't I find the triangle's area differently than I would for the area of a rectangle? Yes, but let's take a look at it. Our formula for a triangle is half base times height, or for a rectangle or a parallelogram, it's just base times height. In essence, a triangle is half of a rectangle. If I flip this over, I could see that two of the same congruent triangle would make one parallelogram or one rectangle or one square depending on its dimensions. And so if a triangular prism has two bases that are triangles, then I have two triangles. So I don't have to worry about this specific formula. I just need to remember that there are two of that same triangle. And if I just do the area, the base times the height, and I don't worry about dividing it by 2 because I need to remember I'm doubling that face. And so I would just do base times height. That being said, let's get working into it. Alright, so let's take a look at this formula here. This is a triangular prism with the following sides. We have our formula is AH plus AW plus BW plus CW. Essentially what you're doing is you're giving me the sum of all four sides. But a triangular prism has 5 sides. Well, hold up. The two sides added together equal one rectangle. That's our triangle and our triangle. We're going to call that A. And then we'll call that our base. So we'll call that base, because that's our triangular prism. So our base and our base together would equal one side. So we'll do base plus side 1, or side A, side B, and side C. Alright, so we have 7 inches. So if this is 7 inches, this would be 7 on top, and this would be 7 behind. If this is 5, this right here would also be 5. And if this back is 4, this would be 4, because these are congruent, and the bottom would be 4. So we have all of our different sides working for us here. So let's get the area of the base. And that is going to be 4 times 4, because our height is 4 and our base is 4. And we're not going to do the triangle formula because there's 2 triangles, and they would equal 1 rectangle. So it'd be 17. So we're going to do side A. And that's going to be, it doesn't matter which side. For me, I'm going to do side A as the bottom. And that's a 4 by 7. So 4 times 7 equals 28. Side B, I'm going to make our back. And so that's going to equal 4 times 7 as well. And that's going to equal 28. And then side C is going to be the front. Imagine this as like our front. Okay, so we have side C, which is equal to a 7 by 5. And that's going to equal 35. Now, since surface area is the sum of all of our sides, let's add them all together. So we got 107. So our surface area equals 107, And since we are measuring our lengths in area, it would be inches. Since this is area, it would be inches squared. So, to conclude, all you have to do is you find the area of the base, which is two triangles together. So you just do base times height. And then you add all of the areas of all the sides together. Add them all together and you get your surface area. Now that we've done it with whole numbers, what I'd like you to do is pause and review the reminders below for fractions and decimals. These are going to be very important for you as you're working on the surface area. You're going to be multiplying and adding fractions and decimals. So these are steps for you to help remind you of how to interact with those types of numbers. That concludes our video. If you would like to pause this to keep this up as you're working, that's fine. Otherwise, get to work on your practice sheet. That concludes our lesson on triangular prisms and their surface areas.